Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Knights of the Turntable. This is episode 42, and with me I have Gary Swaby.
What's up? Good to be back on this show.
Definitely glad to have you every time, and Richard Bailey.
What's up, listeners and viewers? What's going on?
We only got a handful of us here today. You know, holiday weekends and all that. People want to head out of town. Hopefully they're jamming to some dope playlists that you can get on the Koalition.com, for sure. But let's go ahead and jump right into things. Rich, what have you been listening to lately?
Well, unfortunately, nothing too different from what I've been listening to before. Of course, I've been listening to some Tyler, the Creator, some Nas. I did hear Lupe's mixtape. I've been listening to that a lot since we did the first impressions. Definitely check that out. And I actually listened to that Maria I'm Drunk song right before this show. That was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Man, I love that song, man. I still give that a bunch of spins.
Oh no, definitely. That's pretty much it though for now.
Have you listened to that Lupe album, Gary?
No, I still haven't listened to it yet. I've been meaning to, but time is against me, so I haven't checked it out yet. Okay. And I know with a Lupe album, like you gotta really dedicate your like hour to it because you gotta really listen to what he's saying and dissect it and everything. So you really need to listen. You can't just put it in the background and let it play while you play Metal Gear Solid or something like.
Exactly. You definitely have to listen to it. And to correct ourselves, it's a mixtape / EP thing. It's only 5 tracks, but you still have to invest a lot of time in listening to it and digesting it. When you do, you're going to notice that there are some parallels to Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, which you've been playing a whole lot. I still don't understand the connection between Hideo and Lupe, but apparently there is one. Konami tweets out Lupe stuff. Lupe tweets out Konami stuff. He's giving out codes now. The opening song, dead serious. The opening song to his mixtape is him singing over the instrumental from the first Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain trailer.
Whoa.
Yeah, Rich, you probably didn't even catch that. But if I remember, I'll post it in the post for this KOTT. But yeah, like I don't know where this is coming from. Like,
I definitely gotta listen to it now then.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the whole opening song plays off of the big theme that is prevalent in Phantom Pain. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to get your perspective on that particular thing. We'll have to come back to it and address it, but I'm going to do a little bit more research in it. He mentions Hideo, too. He actually said something about him in one of the songs, so maybe they're just BFFs forever, and it's just shouting him out. But since you haven't listened to that, you've been listening to a lot of 90s rap, right, is what you told me?
Yeah, I saw Straight Outta Compton finally on Monday, just gone. And, that kind of inspired me to go back and, listen to all the old stuff. I listened to Straight Outta Compton, the album. I listened to Chronic, I listened to some Ice Cube stuff and, just a lot of that old 90s stuff. I even went to some New York stuff as well from the 90s, like Illmatic and KRS-One and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of old stuff.
Some golden age hip-hop, man. I need to go back and listen to some of that stuff myself. But on my end, I've been listening to Mick Jenkins' The Waves. Yesterday I listened to Saba's Comfort Zone, Lupe's tape, a lot of Travis Scott, Rodeo. Basically, Travis Scott and Lupe's mixtape. It's those two in the heavy rotation, mixing in a few things. I've been listening to The Weeknd's album, which is probably going to debut #1. But shout out to Travis Scott because his album may end up at #3 or #2, which is pretty big for him for his debut. So that's really good. It should be coming in at around like 100,000 sales for him. I'm not sure how that accounts for like streams and everything, but I think that's pretty good.
I need to check that out too.
Yes, you do. If for nothing else, listen to it for Maria I'm Drunk because that song is amazing. All of us still have it in rotation. But let's go ahead and jump into one of the first topics. We have addressed multiple times the Funk Volume Challenge, the hip-hop challenge that they put out for 500 $1,000, and Horseshoe Gang, kind of affiliates of Crooked Eye from Slaughterhouse, they responded with was it Nita Mill or something Mill, and Funk Volume responded with Free Mill, and it was ridiculous. Rich and Gary both just listened to it, so it's fresh on their minds. So I get y'all's perspective first. You go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect when I went into this experience. I have to say that I was quite entertained with everything that was said. I love the delivery of all the rappers, even though I'm not really a Hopsin fan. That's Gary's one of his favorite rappers, next to 50 Cent. Yeah, but you know, I thought it was great. The beat was catchy. That kept me, and then the lines, you know, all the lines they said, very entertaining, very threatening. So I don't have any. I mean, I didn't hear the song that led to this song, but I would say, based off of hearing this, I think they won in the convention. Yeah.
You don't even have to hear the other one.
Yeah,
it's crazy because the other one actually was solid. I hadn't listened to Horseshoe Gang consistently myself. I listened to that and I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. You know, I didn't think Funk Volume was gonna actually respond to them, and they did, and I was like, oh well, maybe Horseshoe Gang should have been quiet because that may not have been the best move for them. But hey, people are talking about Horseshoe Gang now, and they weren't before, so you know that's a benefit for them. But Gary, what'd you think?
Yeah, man. You know, Rich, he's kind of right. I mean, Hopsin isn't like my favorite rapper, but I've been a fan of Hopsin since I first heard him. You know, because he's one of those dope lyricists, and you know, he raps like a battle rapper too, and you know, I love that as well. But yeah, as far as the track was fire. You know, from a lyricism perspective. I'm guessing, you know, it's not really a proper physical beef or anything like that where they dislike each other. It's just, you know, a challenge, and I like that because rap needs that right now. Like, we need that healthy competition to bring, you know, the better lyricism out of everyone, and get everyone being more creative with the words they write and everything. So I respect that. That's how it was back in the 90s and, you know, the early 2000s and stuff, like where people would just go at each other like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I definitely respect the competition, for sure.
Definitely. And, yeah. I mean, as far as, what's the other crew called? Crooked Eyes crew or whatever?
Horseshoe Gang.
Horseshoe Gang. I didn't listen to their song, but, you know, they I know for a fact that they don't have a Hopsin, and for that reason alone, they already lost, because, you know, Hopsin is a monster. Like, he's a beast, so I don't think that's a fight they can win.
So I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So do you think their name should be now changed to Horseshit Gang?
Man, no comment.
Wait, so this challenge, was this challenge open to everyone in hip hop?
Yeah, but it was for $500,000 though. That's the thing. So I wonder who's gonna actually put that money up before they start, you know, addressing this. But what were you about to ask?
So what is the money for? So like the winner gets the money or something?
The winner gets the money. So whoever everybody puts in, you know, 500,000. Whoever walked away is gonna walk away with a cool $1 million. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing this multiple times with multiple groups, but with them, I think that they can. If Horseshoe puts money up and they go at this again, I think Horseshoe is gonna lose that money. Because for one, Funk Volume, that wasn't even all of them. That was only 3 or 4. Because there's Dizzy Wright, there's Jared Benton, there's Hopsin, and there's Swizz, SWIZZZ. He's dope too. And while you're correct, they don't have a Hopsin, they also don't have a Swizz. And in this particular track, they don't have a Jared Benton because dude kind of went off. I was impressed more with Dizzy Wright because I wasn't expecting that type of performance from him. Not to say that it was going to be a bad performance. It's just I've never heard him in a very aggressive manner. So I enjoyed it. But Jared Benton himself could probably handle Horseshoe. But I've asked this of other people that have been on the show, but who would you like to actually see respond, Gary?
Oh man, the possibilities. I mean, the first one that comes to mind, of course, is Slaughterhouse, just because they're a lyrical powerhouse as well. But man, I gotta think about that one.
Can I answer that question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, G Unit, because 50 Cent need every dollar he can get.
But hey, here's the thing.
Would kill them though. G Unit would kill them.
No, they would not. They wouldn't have a chance. And
Boy,
this
Banks would
is
destroy them.
50 Cent doesn't have 500,000 to put up, allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
He's got 500 million to put up.
All this bankruptcy nonsense. Speaking of 50 Cent, let's go ahead and segue right on into that. Apparently, he's building or has built a new residence in Africa and will be moving there sometime soon and throwing some kind of big house party. So Mr. Bankruptcy, has enough money to get a home built in Africa, which, I mean, salute to him. That'd be dope. I wish I had the money to get a home built in Africa myself. But Gary, go ahead and give us a little insight on that.
I don't think he's actually moving there. I think that was a joke because it was like on his Instagram he jokes around a lot. But as far as the house, I guess maybe they're just having like a big party out there, or maybe he has something planned, and then afterwards maybe he'll like rent out the property or something to other people. I don't know. But that's the type of stuff he does. So
maybe he's tired of those American taxes, man. Maybe he just wants to get up out of there.
Yeah, it could be that. But people need to stop thinking 50's broke, man. He's not broke. The bankruptcy he filed for was Chapter 11, which basically means he's restructuring. What's up, Cap?
Special guest. Special guest.
Where did this man come from, man?
We got the man. We got the man right there. He can tell you everything you need to know about this financial stuff.
He's not even. He gonna be mad. He's like, I just wanted to pop in here and listen. I ain't want to talk.
What's good? Yeah, what's going on?
It's good, man. Glad to have you on, dude.
I just stopping by. I seen the link go up. Like what's going on out here? That's all. Seeing what's popping.
Word. It's crazy. We went from me and Gary thinking we was gonna have to do the show just between us, and now we got all these people out here.
What show was today?
Well, shoot, we talking about a few things. We talked about Funk Volume Challenge in Hip Hop for $500,000. Which right now we're talking about 50 Cent building a new residence in Africa, and yeah, Gary was talking about how people need to stop thinking that he's broke. And that he's just restructuring. He got $500 million.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
When he record and everything, man, I got some thoughts on that though.
Word. Hey, go ahead, share them. We're still on that topic right now.
Yeah, share them, man.
Oh, y'all was recording already? I ain't even know.
Yeah. We're recording right now. This is happening right now.
I mean, honestly, man, I think that, I think 50, I don't think he's broke, but he definitely mismanaged his money. Like, there's no way to hide that. Like, the court documents talked about how he spent his money. Like, he mismanaged his money seriously. Now, did he fuck it up? Did he mismanage it to the point where he broke? Probably not.
No.
But he definitely mismanaged that shit.
Yeah. Because, like, the smartest thing that 50 Cent did, he didn't just sit there and try to live off of hip-hop. He reached outside of that business, too.
Yeah. There was a report that said, like, he put a lot of his money into the businesses, and, like, he gets by through the money from the businesses, basically. Something like that.
Because we can't forget he got a pretty solid payday from Vitamin Water, So that should be a pretty solid. You gotta have something to fall back on after that big sale.
He got $100 million off of Vitamin. Reportedly, $100 million off of Vitamin Water.
Hey, wait a second. I got a quick comment to make.
Go ahead.
I know you said that he mismanaged his money. I think the baby mamas are the reason for that as well.
He owed some people.
They gotta get their cut. They gotta get their money.
Yeah, the child support thing, I think he had under grips for a minute. I think it was just everything else
Came
You know, the
down.
fact that you even had to pull this kind of stunt to get away from old girl just tells me that, you know, you mismanage things a little bit. You know what I mean? So.
Word up. Hey, you know, while we got you here, let us know what you've been listening to as of late. Well, what's in your rotation?
Oh man, I've been listening to Stevie Wonder.
Do you think, man? Hey, Rich be doing stuff like that too.
Yo,
all the
it's
time.
this chick. Hold on, let me pull this chick's name out real quick, yo. Her album was tough. She not a rapper, but her production's off the chain. She a singer. Let me pull her name up real quick, cause I forgot it just that fast.
How long ago did it come out?
Oh, Andra Day?
Andrew Day? No, I'm not familiar with her.
Andra Day or something like that? Yeah, she got an album called Cheers to the Fall. Man, that shit was tough.
Okay.
I was like, damn, man, that shit is sonically on point. Like, she a soul singer? So at first I was like, yo, shorty sort of sound like Amy Winehouse. She can get you there. But when you start listening, you like, yeah, there's a difference. Like, you know, she got a little bit more soul, a little bit more, you know, hip hop ish to it. You know, the vibe was on point. Now, as far as rap, I tried to get a Compton album, Another Play. It just wasn't working for me.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I didn't like that album.
I didn't get a chance to get with the. I think J Rock had dropped some. I know Rick Ross dropped some.
No, J Rock's album actually has a release date September 11th.
Okay, cool. I thought I missed it. But I'm looking forward to that. And then as far as Rick Ross, I know he got something he just released. And
Black Dollar.
I don't know, man. The few joints I heard from it, I like the content. It's just like the joints. I like the content of what he was talking about. I just wasn't vibing with it. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I just have to listen to it at another time and it kind of registered with me. It just seemed like Ross trying to switch his shit up a little bit. And ain't nothing wrong with that. My ears just gotta adjust.
Yeah, and maybe the execution wasn't on, but you know, with me, I'm partially Rick Ross fan. Not really. I don't get too invested in him, but maybe this switching up sound might, you know, drag me into it. So I'll give it a listen and see what's up. I'm willing to listen to anything.
I think what's happening in the hip hop game right now is dudes are starting to realize that, yo, you gonna sell what you gonna sell regardless of who's featured, regardless of who's producing it. So you might as well just go all in by yourself. You know what I mean? Like J. Cole did that, and it came out extremely successful. Now he's a talented artist, so I don't want to take anything away from old boy, but you know, it's just more. It's more. I think more artists are seeing that. So like for instance, I was having a debate with my brother about Meek Mill, and I'm like, yo, Meek trash, like, cause you know my thing is like Meek need like 1 million artists, you know, to make an album even relevant. Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm kind of mad at Big Sean too because I feel like Big Sean could do what Crit did, could do what Cole did. You know what I mean? But he ain't do it, and I think his next album he need to just do what they did, yo, and really not, cause what's happening now in hip hop is we don't know who these dudes are. Like back in the day when they used to drop an album, you got an identity. You know what I mean? You could tell who he was, his personality, because he gave you the time to learn about him through his music. And you can't really say that today with today's artists. With Cole, you could kind of say that now. You could kind of say like, yo, like I know who Cole is. But when your first single come out or your album come out and you got like 1 million dudes on it, like I don't know who you are, man. Like, cause the swag keeps switching. Right. So I can't tell. So I like that trend coming back. I like that.
Gotcha. And I agree with what you're saying. But on the point of Big Sean, I feel like even though he did have a couple people, he had like Kanye on there a couple times. He had E40 and Drake on one of the songs. Big Sean shined through performance-wise on Dark Sky Paradise. I don't think he fell into that Meek Mill zone, but it may be because I just don't like Meek Mill as an artist.
No. You know what? That's why I'm upset. You know what I mean? Because I felt like, yo, the dude did such a good job on the album. I kind of feel like, yo, would it really make that much of a difference?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually addressed the Kanye West verses on a previous show. We talked about how he had 3 of the worst verses of 2015. 2 of them were on Big Sean's album. So we really could have done without
Kanye ruined
on
Blessings.
there. Dog, he trashed Blessings. My goodness, that was the #1 worst verse of the year. Was his verse on Blessings, and All Your Fault, while tolerable, was completely unnecessary. I don't even remember his verse on One Man Could Change the World. I forgot he was on that one. But yeah, Kanye, I get what you're saying. Big Sean could have done without the features on there. They just weren't necessary. And with me, sorry, some people are gonna be mad about this, but I never feel that an E40 verse is necessary in this day and age. So they could have kept that one off of there too. I don't know if anybody feel a certain way about that. Rich might get up out his rocking chair and come at me, but it's all good, man. I like old E40 stuff, but the new stuff not so much.
I think E40. You right, man. I ain't gonna. I think E40 was for the remix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like just throw him on the remix, and even then, like it ain't gonna be that great. It's just gonna be fun to hear a couple.
He did that. He did that for points. He did that for hip hop points. Yeah.
Yeah, pay homage. I got E40 on the track. Yeah, it's hot garbage, but I respect it, man. But let's go ahead and move into the next topic.
But before you move on, that song E40 got, that shit bangs, yo.
Which one?
That joint, we was like, yep. The questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes. That's actually the first song from E40 I've heard in a long time. I think somebody mentioned it on the podcast before, and I had to go listen to it. I was pleasantly surprised.
That shit was a hit. I heard that shit in somebody's car. I'm like, who that? That's E40.
Yeah, I know, right?
Snap.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's what it was. It was my cousin. I went to his wedding in South Carolina, and we were talking about E40, and he played me that song in the car. That's why I heard it. And yeah, he went off. Like I guess if you give it time, you'll put some dope stuff together. But E40 dropped 2 albums every couple fucking months. Like like take your time.
Papoose of the Bay.
Word. Like calm down. Take your time. But speaking of all these albums, the main topic for this particular episode was I want y'all to tell me what album, if you can narrow it down to one or just a couple, what album has, since it come out, stayed in your rotation the longest? Something that you always, not classic albums that you go back to every couple months. Because right now, Gary, you were talking about 90s albums that you go back to and you're listening to, and you're kind of in that mood. Yeah. But are there any albums that since they've come out, every couple weeks or so you're gonna listen to a couple tracks off of it, or it just constantly stays in your rotation? I'll start it off so I can give y'all some time to think on that for a moment. But one of the albums that stayed in my rotation for the absolute longest, I'm gonna name a couple of them. One was Blues Below the Heavens, which I don't know if y'all listened to that yet. If you haven't listened to it, you really need to. That came out in 2007. And it was, I think the reason why it stayed in my rotation so long is just the topic matter, because it just came from a place that meshed with the age that I was then, and which was, early 20s? I'm terrible at math, I'll figure it out. But late teens, early 20s, something like that. And he just spoke some real shit. And this was also around the time that I was getting more into underground hip-hop versus mainstream, because that kind of started with Lupe Fiasco for me, which was Food and Liquor 2006, I believe. And I found that Blue Below the Heavens album, which I had never heard of Blue. Somebody told me it was amazing, instant hip-hop classic, and people just bug out and overrate stuff all the time. But I was like, let me just go ahead and give this a listen. And I did. Nonstop. And the only reason why it's not in my rotation right now, for one, it is very difficult to find a physical copy of that album. It's basically impossible. And I like having physical copies. I tried to find a vinyl and I tried to find a CD. And there were some issues with my digital copy going up on Google Play, so I can't play it from my phone all the time. That's the only reason why I haven't been able to listen to it all the time. But have y'all thought of one yet? Gary, you got one? 50 Cent, man.
No, look, I'm gonna do it without mentioning any G-Unit stuff. So
All right.
yeah, I hope this counts, but I don't think it was intended to be an album, but I know he released it as kind of an album after.
It
But
can be
it's,
mixtapes and EPs, by the way. My bad. I said album, but it can be any work of music from hip hop that you've heard.
okay, yeah, then it's definitely Joe Budden's Mood Music 4. Like, because I feel like a lot of themes on that project were very relatable. You know, he talks about women, he talks about depression, and a lot of different things. And there's a couple songs that stay in my rotation pretty much. Like,
Is Black Cloud on that one?
huh?
Black Cloud on Mood Music 4?
Yeah, Black Cloud, that's one of them. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Sober Up with Crooked Eye.
Yeah.
Damn, what else was there? Oh, No Idea, that's another one.
No Idea is great. Yeah, when that came out, it actually was in my rotation for quite a while. And a big part of that was Black Cloud. I connected with that song on another level, and it was just so dope. Like, the production, of course, was dope as well, so it was sick.
Yeah, that project had a lot of dope cuts on there. I know Cap agrees as well because he's like the biggest Joe Budden fan. So, you know, I know he'll like that choice.
I actually have a signed Joe Budden mixtape. I got Mood Music 3 signed.
Word.
How'd you get that?
Because he was selling them on his website when they first came out. So I was one of those dudes that bought it. Like,
With the quickness.
I was
Actually-
like, all right, let me get one.
I actually remember that.
Yeah. This little message boy he had popping or whatever. Yo, man, I mean, I would say what Gary said, but since he said that, I'm gonna just go off with I'm gonna put out one that's unexpected, and that's the Game, the documentary, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the documentary stayed on repeat for me for a minute. I can't even tell you I'm a Game fan. I can't tell you that, but I can just tell you, like, yo, I was listening to that album all the time. Like, it was just a good album for the time for me. Like, you know, I don't know about calling things classic, but I will say, yo, like, that album did it for me for the moment. Like, the beats was on point, the flow was on point, and honestly, he kind of flowing nowadays with a few singles he done dropped lately. So
That's true.
hopefully, you know, this album that he coming out now, which is called The Documentary 2, I think.
I hope it lives up, man.
I hope it does, bro. I hope it does.
Yeah, because I hate when people throw that 2 on there when they're following up these you know, arguable classic projects. Like, I wasn't too hyped when, you know, Marshall Mathers LP2.
Yeah,
He's the prime example. Yeah, he fucked up. That shit, man.
That shit made me mad, man. I'm like, if you gonna do that, man, you gotta go in on
You
it.
gotta be spitting, yo. Like, don't be coming with that Scream flow. Like, he got the Scream 3 flow, man.
Word. Lupe kind of bugged me out with that too. Food and Liquor too, because, you know, when you do that, you set an expectation, and they know that. They know that they're trying to capitalize off of that expectation. But when you don't deliver, man, it rub people the wrong way. It's
Yeah, yo,
bad.
can I just say real quick that 50 Cent did a hell of a job writing the documentary, man. That was dope.
Man, look here, bro.
Yeah, that's an argument for another day, man.
That's a whole nother, man, whole nother conversation. Now, we do know that a lot of that production off there was kind of like 50 Cent tracks, Detox scraps, Eminem stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, it all came together, and I agree. Documentary actually stayed in my rotation for a while, for quite a while.
Yeah, it was a dope album, definitely.
And you know what's crazy? All right, judge me if you want. You know, one of my standout verses from that is a Tony Yayo verse on
Yo,
Run.
that verse was fire, though, man. That verse was fire. Running.
That's the best verse Tony.
Is that the
Yayo
joint where he was
ever
like,
wrote.
he cut dudes' heads off like that bitch from Kill Bill?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Best
Yeah, that
verse
was-
he's ever done and will ever do. Richard Bailey, it looked like you finally got something popped up over there. What you got for us?
All right, so I thought long and hard about this question, and then yeah, it makes perfect sense. My answer will shock a lot of people. No,
Ja Rule.
no, oh hell no, oh hell no, he would never be on any list that I had come up with. It there's one album that I listen to regularly. I don't really talk about it quite as much on this show, but Mos Def, Black on Both Sides. Because when I started listening to hip hop, you know, I like Busta Rhymes. I'll admit I like some of his albums, even though they was trash.
Right.
But one of the other artists that I really enjoyed most was Mos Def. Before he went through all his name changes and stuff like that, I got a lot of respect for his music. And I'm not just talking about the songs on this album like Miss Fat Booty or Whom He Says. No, he got other songs on here that are awesome. One of my favorites probably Got. That song Got.
Mm-hmm.
Speed Law. Yeah, I like Speed Law. Love. I mean, it's hard to get skipped.
No, Love is sick. Love is sick. And like, interesting thing, I actually only listened to that album in its entirety for the first time like 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh.
I'd heard bits and pieces of it. Of course, I heard Whom He Says, Miss Fat Booty. I'd heard Love just from a friend of mine, but I'd never listened to it from beginning to end. There's actually a lot of albums that people will arguably say are classics from more, I guess, conscious artists that I hadn't listened to straight through, and that was one that I wanted to address, and I did, and I can understand what you mean when you say that you can't stop listening to it and you keep it in rotation. It's a really good album from beginning to end.
Yeah. If I had to give another, I would say Common.
What, Find Her Forever?
No. I believe it's Like Water for Chocolate.
Okay, got you. Hated would Michael A would definitely co-sign you on that one. I believe that's his #1 rated Common album.
Oh wow, yeah. I guess after that, you know, Find Her Forever was good.
Yeah.
But the last album, I don't know, son. He needs some work.
You got to cut it out. The last one wasn't absolutely horrible, but he got to cut it out. But you remind me, Find Her Forever and Talib Kweli's Eardrums, those are actually 2 albums that stayed in my rotation for a long time. I'm not saying that Find Her Forever is Common's best album, but some of those songs were more relatable to me, and I enjoyed the sound on it. I think B is a better album than Find Her Forever, but I've listened to Find Her Forever more. That stayed in my rotation. Eardrums, probably up there with Below the Heavens. It's just the issue with Eardrums. It's such a long album, but it's one of the better albums that actually can go that long and actually still be pretty good. So, but did y'all have any more other ones that y'all wanted to throw out there?
There we go. Good.
I don't have any without mentioning G-Unit. So.
I mean, I gotta throw in, you know, Blueprint. I mean, I know that's an obvious choice, but you know, Blueprint was good for me. You know, I tried not to go 90s with it.
Here's the thing: you go 90s with it, you opening up a whole nother can, man. Because that's
what I'm
when
saying.
You get into the albums that I always go back to every now and then. Like I always go back to It Was Written. That's my favorite. I always go back to AT Aliens all the time.
Oh man, yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I gotta think this through.
No, I always go back to see. At the time, I preferred Marshall Mathers LP, but nowadays I'm going back to Slim Shady LP more. So I'll throw that one out there too.
Yeah, both of
Yo,
those.
you know who had a good that surprised me? Childish Gambino's the one he had before this.
Not because the internet. Camp was
in rotation heavy for me. I didn't even tell nobody. I was embarrassed, I was like, yo, like I like this shit,
No, it's mad funny you say that because I did not tell anybody either. And I bought it. I didn't even know it was coming out. I happened upon a physical copy in Best Buy when I was working there. And I was like, what is this? And I just bought it on a whim. That thing stayed in my CD player for so long, bro.
Yeah, like, he kind of got me hit because for a while I was like, I don't really like the geeky rappers for a minute. But then when I was listening, I was like, yo, like, I kind of relate to this dude. Like, yo, like, he's spitting some shit I kind of relate to. Like, it's alright. Like, so I kept it in rotation for a minute. You know, musically it wasn't bad. I think if he didn't have that musical element, it could have been a worse. It probably wouldn't have had no replay value, but
Yeah.
he had a good musical element to it, so it really kept it in rotation for me.
Man, you can tell he has a great ear for that. A great ear. Yeah, I think it was more prevalent on Camp than it was on Below. Not Below.
He close to a classic album. I think what he needs is direction, yeah. Like I think he just don't have the right executive producer. Like he need like I feel if Childish Gambino got in the studio with Kanye, we might hear something come out. You know what I mean? We might hear a classic album. Like he just needs somebody to help him put that together. You know, like because that last album was trash. You know what I mean? To me at least, I don't know. Like
I don't feel like it was trash. Structure wise, it was off. It was way too experimental in some ways. I think he had some dope songs on there, but I do like Camp more as a full project because Camp flows from beginning to end, and like before you know it, it's starting over. You ain't even
exactly. And I'm gonna just throw this comment out there. I know it's a little off topic, man, but I feel like it need to be said because you just said something really key. I don't really like these experimental rappers too much, man. Like you know, like Kanye kind of started a trend where dudes feel like they can rock goth boots and you know what I mean, and you know flat top braids and it's just weird, man. Like I don't like it. You know what I mean? It just don't sound good. And I'm like maybe I got the old man ear, yo, because people be on Twitter, you know, gassing the hell out of people's music like Vic Mensa, like yeah, I mean I don't see it yet. Like I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Now question. Did you listen to Vic Mensa before he signed?
I've listened to a few joints from him, but I can't say. I honestly can't say I listened enough to have an opinion.
Okay, I would suggest listen to Internet, which is his mixtape that he did. I think you'll have an appreciation for that.
All right, I'm gonna check that out.
Do you rock with Chance at all? I had a feeling you didn't like Chance.
He another one, but you know what? I could stomach Chance though. Chance. I feel like he alright to me. Like you know what I mean? Like it's some dudes who just sound like they trying to be different. Like Chance just sounds like that's just him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where a lot of dudes just sound like, yo, I just want to be different. Let me do something just to be. This ain't really what I'm about. You know, and I don't know why. Maybe I just kind of feel like Vic Mensa is one of those dudes, and maybe it's because I didn't give him a fair listen. But I'm looking forward to really listen.
I understand exactly what you mean, especially as a person that listened to it before, because he started out with Kids These Days, which was live instruments and everything, really dope stuff. If you listen to Chance's Surf project, it had more of a sound like that. Because that Donnie trumpet involved, right? Then Vic went solo, did his hip hop project, super dope. When he signed, though, right before he signed and afterwards, he's been doing this very, very experimental sound that is very, very akin to what Kanye does, and I hate Kanye's new sound right now. Yeah. So because Vic did this house song. He's done like a few house songs, and like one of them was okay. But the rest of them, I'm like, yo, it's just like you said, you're trying too hard.
Yeah, it's like, and people I'm like, yo, are they really digging it? Like, I be looking at Twitter comments and people be like, yo, that Vic Mensa, yo, and I'm like, are you really digging that, yo? Like, really? like I be honestly trying to hear like what they hearing. Like, I'm giving them a fair shake. Like, yo, let me.
I have a feeling the main song that you have a problem with is that song "Feel That." The one you got a video for? Is that the one?
Yes. That's one of them.
Oh, that song trash. And I feel you because people be on Twitter talking about it. It's hyped up. YouTube views off the chain. Video came out. I was like, low key. No. High key, this is garbage. I cannot stand this. And that's coming from a Vic Mensa fan, man.
Word.
Like, this is
that's
terrible.
Why, like, even listen to people like, for instance, Fetty Wap got this song called Again. And don't get me wrong, like I like some of the joints he put out. Like, there's some cool joints. All right, cool. Like I know what they for. Like they're not for, they're not for you to sit and contemplate. You know, they bop your head, ride around the car, get some chicks. You know,
Yeah.
we know what it's for. But it's this one song people love. It's called Again. And I'm like, yo, like, I listen to it, and I can't even, like, vibe on it on that level. And I'm like, yo, this is really, like, the shit? Like, this shit is trash.
It's some music. There's like some kind of mass hive mind effect where this person likes it, so this person likes it, and this person likes it, and it'll be hot garbage. And I feel like a lot of the mainstream guys now, like Fetty Wap. I mean, I want to say no disrespect, but it's gonna be disrespectful. But I feel like they're parodies of hip hop. And it's such a funny ass parody that people rock with that the song becomes hot, and people think that's what hip hop is now. And like a perfect example of this is Trinidad James. That song that he got hot off of. If you take that, have like a couple like white writers for a comedy sketch show write a hip hop song and do like a video for it. It's gonna sound a whole lot like that Trinidad James song.
Yo, you know what else is a great example too?
What's that?
Chief Keef, because like some of his songs I started listening to just for like the fun factor, like the fact that you can barely understand the thing he says.
Right.
But then it starts sounding hot to me, like, and I start bumping it.
I think cause like I jammed that Trinidad James songs, but I jammed it because I thought that shit was hilarious. Like it was a joke to me, but that's not how it's perceived. Like somebody sees me listen to it, they think, okay, that must be what's hot. And I guess that's just what's happening with like all these, because Fetty Wap low key has one song that's dope, and only the hook is what did it for him. That first song for him, Hood Trap Queen, right? And then somebody talked about this before. Vine and Instagram, they're responsible for a lot of this stuff becoming hot too.
Yeah. And like the thing about the Fetty though, like I think I've been trying to throw him in the box for a minute, but for some reason I can't. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I can't is because the dude just, you know, a lot of people, one hit wonder, but he got 4 tracks in the top 20 right now.
He broke a record. He's the first one to do that shit.
Yo, that shit is crazy. So I'm like, yo, honestly, he became what I think now, and I hope he's realized this, because if he didn't, he'll fall really fast. He's trained, like, there's a few artists who I feel have transcended rap. For example, Pitbull. For example, Flo Rida.
Pitbull and Flo Rida have become cultures in their own right.
I think if Fetty was smart, he would really study the moves of these dudes. Because the moment you get back to rap, you done, man. Like you're not doing this no more. Like you know you can't spit anyway. Yeah. So make sure your hook game is on point. Make sure your bars is on point. Take care of your throat. No homo. You know about pause. Yo, I hope we can cut that out because I know somebody will get it. Yo, my apologies to anybody who took offense to that. So anyway, yeah, you know what I mean though. Like he gotta really, really, really study their moves because that's where he gonna be able to live if he's smart.
Yep.
Yeah, you saw what happened to Bobby Shmurda. Like that song got so big, but then what happened after that?
They weren't ready. For it.
But I don't think Bobby Shmurda can pull off.
Well, if Fetty did, actually, crazy as it sounds, I actually agree with you on that one. Because there was no song after that first one that blew up like the first one did. Yeah. Like, you know, people had their fun with it, with the dancing thing and everything. Nah, man. Like, you take that one hit and ride with it, just like Trinidad James. Trinidad tried to outstay his welcome past that one hit wonder. And got mad when people didn't take him seriously. And I'm like, bruh, like it was a parody in the first place. I don't understand. Like, is now, I feel like this is the same, like the Vine videos and stuff, I think this is the same as ringtone, the ringtone rapper era, where, you know, you hear these quick clips. Sorry, my thing cut off. You hear these quick clips, it's hot. Everybody has, quick bursts. Now it's attached to like these comedy videos and these memes and everything, and that's what blows it up. That's what gets it all these views. And kind of off what Cap is saying, you got to know your lane first off, and ride that wave. Because man, Pitbull and Flo Rida did it with no shame whatsoever, especially Flo Rida. My goodness, man.
None. I seen Flo Rida pull up to I was in Beverly Hills last year, staying at a fancy hotel because the joint that they had, they put us up in that hotel thanks to the Koalition. Thank you. So when I was hanging outside, big fat limousine pull up. I think it was and then the Bentley pulled up behind it, and it was just Flo Rida and all his crew. I'm just thinking like, damn, dogs, like, you're not even supposed to be here, man. You exist, dog, and not only do you exist, but you well paid. Like you way more paid than a lot of other dudes in rap right now today, man. And so, Fetty, man, pay attention because that could be you in a few years, bro.
Yeah, and just like you said, it's transcending hip hop in a way because we don't talk about Flo Rida in the hip hop conversation no more.
Yo, he don't even promote his shit to us. No, Flo Rida records don't even play on Hot 97, man.
No, because that ain't the place for it no more. It's straight pop. It's straight pop. And if Fetty Wap wants to keep going where he's going right now, he needs to embrace that shit. Word. It's simple and plain, man. Dude. That's legit though.
But do you think Fetty could be pop though?
He is now.
He pop. I mean, his material is aggressive, no doubt. But I think he gets a pass for that because it's his first foray in. But
will he always get that pass though? Will he always?
No. That's the point that I think he's making. He won't get that pass, so he needs to adjust.
Yeah.
So you think he needs to clean up?
Shit up. Yeah, he gonna have to lighten it up a little bit because if he tries to stay in hip hop, that's not what they're trying to hear consistently. Like that.
Yeah, because he's gonna become a trend. Like he's in danger of being a trend unless he figures out a way to become a Flo Rida or Pitbull. And that's what hip hop's based on trends, man. Unless you a real artist, unless you're a J. Cole or Kendrick. A Talib, or LOX, whatever. If you ain't bringing content to the game, no matter what you do, you just become a trend, yo. Like this, I can't name one rapper who was on some silly shit who's still around. Like they may not. These guys look like they're getting the most money at the time when they doing it, but then after a while they fade away.
Yeah, it's a flash in the pan. It looks real nice because like Trinidad, I always go back to him. He's always gonna be my example. Because I got the numbers for it. $2 million got signed, right? One hit wonder signed, $2 million. You ain't heard not a thing from him yet. Dude done put out so many mixtapes since then and tracks and stuff. Nothing. He couldn't capitalize off that. And I feel like there's so many paths in hip hop, but people try to force a path for themselves for whatever reason, and it just doesn't work out. Trinidad tried to force this. I can actually rap. When no, you really can't. It was funny. It was funny as fuck. That first song was hilarious, dude. You had the fucking puppy and shit and the gold. It was all an image that everybody found to be entertaining.
Yep. That's what happened with Mims, man. Mims tried to really rap and shit. Like nobody want to hear that, man.
Yeah, Mims was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Mims had the perfect lane to the Flo Rida route. And he didn't want to go down that road because he was really on the edge.
Mims had Zoom commercials, B.
Yeah, it was crazy. I thought Mims was gonna keep going that way, and he dropped the ball. And when you do that, that's a wrap.
Because they care too much about what other people think. He want to be respected as an MC, and I get that, man. Like you come into hip hop, you grew up on hip hop, you want to be the MC, you want respect, you want to be a rapper, but man, you gotta be smart now, man. You know your lane. Yo, at least get comfortable in your lane first. Know what I mean, get a few bucks, then get into that whole other shit. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I can spit. Just then do all that.
Because now there's really no excuse for the issues between independent and main and label rap.
Yeah.
Now. Because back in the day, we'll take Lupe as an example. He signed with Atlantic and didn't realize he was gonna get shafted on the content side of things. Even then, we should have known. We should have known that was gonna happen. Shit, we had P Diddy as an example. Like you got to be careful with these labels. Now, if you get into a deal and like you try to say, oh, creatively, blah blah blah, bro, you signed that paper. You've seen what other people do. You know what's gonna happen. That's your own fault. You signed up for this. And we have people like Chance that went the independent route and stayed independent and continue to be independent. If you want that creative freedom, understand that your fan base is going to change with that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just there are rare people like Chance. Chance is not the rule. He is the exception when it comes to independent because he's independent, but he's on the mainstream.
You got the Macklemore joint. The Macklemore dude.
Yeah, Macklemore is another thing. He's not the rule. He's the exception. You go independent, somebody picks it up. A lot of people feel like Macklemore's thing was white privilege that got him up to that place.
It was.
Big part of it.
I think he even admitted that, I think.
He did. It was an interview on Breakfast Club.
But even though he admitted it, like he ain't giving money back. Like he ain't donating. He ain't donating to schools. Like I don't see this dude. What are you doing for hip hop? What is Macklemore doing for hip hop, man?
You know what's funny? So Big Daddy Kane took to Twitter and Instagram and said that Macklemore is keeping hip hop alive. Now here's the thing why, and this is a funny thing. I'm gonna get y'all the opinion on this. This will be the last topic. So he said he's keeping hip hop alive because he had people like Grandmaster Caz and Melly Mel in his video, in the Downtown video. And I didn't read the whole Instagram post, but I think he was making the point that you don't see a lot of these new hip hop artists doing that and keeping things alive in that fashion by paying tribute to the old heads. So that's a little touchy there.
I get that. I get that. They got a little shine. They got a little video shine. So all of a sudden he's keeping it alive. Like,
but here's the flip side of this. On my side of the table.
Yeah.
Are Grandmaster Caz and Melly Mel keeping hip hop alive by being featured in a Macklemore video? We know they ain't do it for free. We know they didn't do it for free. They got paid to do it. Was that not kind of a deterrent? Like, because his music is so. That particular song was in the video was like hip hop appropriation 101. And
yeah, it was just I think it was Macklemore's attempt to say I'm authentic, and I didn't buy it. I looked at the VMA. I didn't buy it. I mean, Grandmaster Caz, like, come on, man, I can see this dude anytime. Matter of fact, I got pictures with Melly Mel and Caz. Now, I mean, they do shit together often.
Right.
Matter of fact, I got a signed rhyme book, Grandmaster Caz. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
You can go on my Facebook and see some flicks with me and them from last year. You know what I mean? And that don't mean I'm more hip hop than you. You know
I was about to say you're keeping hip hop alive, bro.
Yeah. Apparently, just because I got a few flicks. And I got it. That means I know more than you on hip hop. You know what I mean? Apparently, you know what I mean? Like, I'm keeping it alive and I'm keeping it authentic. I don't buy it. I think that was Macklemore's opportunity to look like he was authentic in rap. That was it. Like, that's all that was right there. That was it. Like, I didn't buy it. And Melly Mel game, man,
Or Rich and Gary, what are y'all thoughts on this?
On what?
Go ahead, Gary.
No, what in particular?
Do you feel like Macklemore is keeping hip hop alive by paying homage to old heads?
Nah. Like, is Macklemore still even popular? Like, do people still?
Yeah, because I'll look up the plays for the new song, but I'm sure it's in the millions already.
I haven't even heard the new song, so.
It ain't worth it. I mean, it's worth it to pick up the conversation, but the song itself is not very like the production. I enjoyed the production, but there is some issues with that. We actually talked about it on on the last show too. That
So
was
do
the
you
main
feel
thing.
like he's in his own lane, like he transcends hip hop as well?
I feel like he's a pop artist, okay? Which there's nothing wrong with being a pop artist. We just had a conversation about basically telling Fetty Wap he needs to go pop. Simple as that. Like when you break down the terms, that's what we're saying. But Macklemore, even if he's not, well, actually Downtown is a prime example of this. But what I was going to say is, even if he isn't doing this, he's not the perpetrator, people are using Macklemore as some definitive version of hip hop, right? Which is making this an issue, making these things an issue. And I was going to say Macklemore's not doing that himself, but then look at this video, and he tries to pay homage and have these old heads, but it's still his same sound, which is very popish. But people are saying this is hip-hop. I just want him to go into his own lane and stay there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, just it's because it's with creatives, I try to be as open-minded as possible. Even if I don't like what you're doing, somebody does. Nothing wrong with that. But when it's this kind of issue, when I have such an investment in hip-hop, like, that's why I have such an opinion on it. Sorry, the video started playing. But, by the way, his video has 9 million views right now.
You know what? People did the same with Eminem, but I didn't mind because Eminem actually was skillful.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was spitting.
I was gonna bring him up. Like Eminem, like people in hip hop chose him to be part of hip hop because he was, you know, so talented. But with Macklemore, I feel like, you know, it's not even the same. Like he's not that skilled, you know, and so I don't feel like hip hop would accept him the same way. So I guess that's why he tries to cling on to it, like, and make it seem like he's
exactly. And like, don't come. A lot of people try to make it black and white, right? Eminem is an example of a counter to that. Beastie Boys is a counter to that. There's a lot of people that are counters. This is one particular old head I'm trying to. MC Search, I think. There's a lot of people that are counters to that claim that it's a black and white thing, right? And both ends try to take that side. But Eminem, you said, you know, he was kind of chosen. Honestly, Eminem earned every bit that he had because he started off battling and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a really big way to get respect in hip hop, and everything built up from there. So he earned what he had, and if you think about it, like, even though he still kind of addressed a lot of pop culture, I think the fact that Eminem was a skillful rapper made it completely okay that it was kind of popish hip hop to a degree, because he can still buckle down and spit some shit if you want him to. I mean, just take some freestyles that he's done as of late. Check the ciphers and stuff, the big Slaughterhouse cipher when they did all that stuff. Eminem now on albums, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not that much.
Yeah, he has no business rapping now, like, because he's like, you know, midlife crisis and all that stuff. But,
Word.
Yeah. But like, I liked the way he always used to come out, like the way he structured his albums, because he'd come out with the big pop single first. And then, you know, you'd know that everything after that single was straight fire in terms of, you know, from a hip hop perspective. So I like how, you know, he kept coming out with that structure.
Now all he do is scream with a Rihanna hook.
Pretty much.
Yeah, or that other
do
chick,
it, it's a hit.
Skylar Grey or whatever.
Yep.
That chick.
That's pretty much all he has to do now. But on the Compton record, though, he spit in regular voice. So I don't know if y'all made it to that song yet. But that's that classic Eminem on that one. But did anybody have any more to offer to the conversation? Rich, did you want to speak on Macklemore?
Yeah, let me respond to what you just said. I'm glad that you made that comment about his contribution to the Compton album, because to me that was good, as far as Eminem is concerned. And I also think he did good on the cipher. So I'm not going to say he fell off completely, because people were still talking about them ciphers.
True.
As for the Wacklemore comment, no, I'm not a fan of this artist. I don't care what he's talking about. You know, I respect every artist, but this guy, no. We know who the real hip-hop pioneers are. No, we do not need this guy to try to remind us or feel like he is relevant to the issue, because, in my opinion, he's not. I can assure you I was not one of the millions of people that saw that video, because, no, I'm not interested.
Honestly, yo,
What's it?
that makes me upset. Not what you're saying, but why is Macklemore the guy to bring these guys in the video? You know what I mean? Like why is Macklemore the guy? Like, why isn't, you know what I mean? Like, why he had to be the one? You know? And so, you know, it's not. We see why he did it. It's a stunt, but at the same time, we got to be mad at other rappers and be like, we got to hold them accountable because they allowed this to happen.
Yeah, like a lot of these guys, you know, they forget the roots of, you know, hip hop and just try and go with what's hot right now, and you know that's why a lot of them don't last, because once what's hot right now isn't hot anymore, then you know they just fade away. So people need to know the true roots and the core of hip hop if they want that staying power.
Yeah, I mean, you have some people that still do pay homage pretty heavy, because Kendrick definitely does. Because, like, you know, shit, I feel like he mentioned Corrupt every couple verses.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell y'all a story, man. I actually met the father of hip-hop, man, Kool Herc.
Word? When'd you meet him?
Yeah. I met him 2 years ago at a Christmas party. Yeah. You know, I walked up to Kool Herc, and I said, listen, man, I just want to thank you for everything you've done. You know what I mean? You know, you changed my life in more ways than you can imagine.
Right.
And I told him, like, you know, and I included you in a presentation. That was like right before I was flying to California, because I wanted to talk about him in my presentation at a startup conference. And he was like, yeah, you better be sending me a check for that. And he was dead ass serious. He was not joking.
Dog, that's hilarious, man. Did you get like a photo?
They got chips on their shoulders, man. You know what I mean? Because they not being paid homage to. You know what I mean? They got chips on their shoulders. You know, they feel like everybody's eating off the shit that, especially Kool Herc, everybody's eating off the shit that he created. But it's almost like he ain't even really getting the respect he deserved. So
not from popular artists, not from mainstream popular artists. Because if you talk to somebody, what KRS just did an interview talking about Kool Herc, Talib Kweli, you know, people like that. I guess, and then we got to consider that some of these younger artists that we're listening to now, Cole, Kendrick, they probably didn't even listen to people like Kool Herc.
My thing is this, yo. We can't find we can't bring the founder of rock and roll back. We can't bring the father of blues back. We can't bring the father of all these other music genres back. When you turn on MTV Music Awards and they giving a Vanguard Award to Kanye West, when the nigga who created hip-hop is still alive and well in the Bronx, you got to start thinking to yourself, what's going on? Like, why isn't MTV even giving this dude love? Why is BET Hip Hop Awards not giving this dude? Like, yo, this dude created this.
Yep.
Well, you know why BET is not? Because they're not fully educated over there. I don't know. MTV, though? Yeah, that's a very good question.
Shit, man, when they had the Source Awards, man, like, why didn't they do anything like that? They're supposed to be that definitive source for that kind of stuff. Like, so, you know, why not? Now, I granted, Source has gone back further than these other hip hop awards or MTV or BET and stuff. They have gone back. I can't remember. I know they did something for some old heads before, but that is a valid point. I've never thought of it that way. That we have the father of the entire culture still here, but people aren't paying homage, and maybe that's why Big Daddy Kane said what he said.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but I remember a few years ago where he needed like surgery or something, and everybody was like, "Yo, we need to raise money because Kool Herc is going through health problems. He ain't had no health insurance." Know what I mean? And people was really and they had a hard time raising money for this dude's operation. But I'm like, Jay-Z could buy 100 albums from Nipsey Hussle But you can't get a dude who created. You know what I mean? You get what I'm just like, why not, man? This dude created this. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't be begging for money. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing that should be happening. The last thing. You know what I mean? Like, not him. Maybe Grandmaster Caz. I mean, you can say what you want about anybody else, but the dude fathered the culture, though. Come on, man. Y'all could do better.
True that. Any final thoughts on that topic? We good? We move on? All right, well, that's been the show right there. That was dope. You know, that was impromptu stuff that all came together. I appreciate y'all jumping on. Cap and Rich at the last minute. Of course, Gary, I'm glad to have you on here when we can. I don't even know what I'm going to title this episode now. We don't want all over the place. But, of course.
A dope episode, man.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was a very, very good episode. But let's get final words from all you gentlemen. Cap, you first.
Yo, just definitely go listen to that Andrew Day album. I know it ain't I know we on the hip hop podcast, but I'm telling you, I know it ain't just me, man. I'm telling you that joint is fire, it's flames. And also, look out for that new Fetty Wap, man. September 25th.
That man got the date ready. Gary Swaby.
Yeah, man, good to be back on the show. We got to do Nights of the Turntable Arena soon. It's kind of late now. We was going to do it today, but, you know, we need to figure something out, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, it's good to be back on here chopping it up about hip-hop because, you know, my day-to-day schedule is, like, so mad these days that it's like I forget to, like, listen to a lot of what's new out there. So, you know, I kind of lose touch with it a bit. And that's why this podcast is so great, man, because, you know, it keeps me up to date with what's going on in hip hop and everything. So salute to you, Charles, and you know Joe Hova and all the other guys that are usually on the show. So yeah,
I appreciate it, man. You see how easy it was for Gary to pay homage to the people that started the show?
Yeah.
It was that easy. Rich.
Oh yeah, always a pleasure to be on. Glad to have you guys on this week as well. Shout outs to the rest of the cast that was unable to make it. Hope they're having a great Labor Day. Last but certainly not least, yes, please continue to listen to good hip hop, but avoid Wacklemore at all costs. Yeah.
Always like that.
Yes.
Word, man. And back to what Gary was saying, I greatly appreciate the shout out. Joe, you know, has been a big part of this for sure. But Rich and Gary, both of y'all played a big role in getting this started too. It's been over a year since we started everything, and you know it's still going strong, man. We just gotta keep on pushing because I feel like this show is incredible and it deserves an audience that can hear Rich with these one-liner jokes, man. Everybody got to hear this. We need thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to hear these jokes. We got them for days, but I appreciate the shout out for sure. But you know, business as usual. Hit the eye annotation in the top right if you're watching this on YouTube after the live stream. Everything is going to be free with these podcasts and everything. But if you'd like to donate so we can possibly get Cool Herc on the show or get other guests on here or something like that, feel free to do so. It will, you know, donations, feedback. We consider feedback to be a donation too because we take everything that you tell us and we try to improve on the thing and make the show a whole lot better for everyone. We'd like your input. Hit us with the comments in the comment section about the different topics today. We have plenty of them for sure. Let us know what you think about Macklemore again because we did that one on the last show. Let us know what you think about the thin line between crossing over and selling out. You know, the Fetty Wap and, you know, Pitbull and Flow Rider conversation. And also, let us know if you're going to get that new J-Rock. 90059 comes out on September 11th. I don't know why they picked that date, but that's when it's coming out. I'm definitely going to be checking that. But this has been the show, Nights of the Turntable, episode 42. We are still planning to do a really big one for 50, still figuring that out. Maybe Gary can get 50 Cent on the show for episode 50. Maybe.
I can manage that, man. I can handle that.
Word. But we greatly appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Peace.